Hello, in this video we are going to learn how to build a game just like this one. Take a look. I have a player, I have an enemy, I have a weapon, and I keep the score. I can see the background in there as well. So if I throw the arrow, I can see that the zombies start moving and it will do it faster and faster. The background also change. You get superpowers that give you life and so on. To do this kind of games, we're going to use CodeOrg Game Lab. To start with that, we are going to type CodeOrg and we are going to sign in. If you don't have an account yet, you can sign in with Microsoft account, Google account, Facebook account, or just using your email. Once you sign in, you will be able to click on new project, and we want to work with the Game Lab. So we click Game Lab. If you click on Game Lab, you're going to have a new project, which is totally empty. Look, compared to this one. And this is where we are going to be writing our code or using the blocks to assist us. Cool. Okay, let's get ready. So it all start blank. The first thing that you need to do is to include the different animation that you are going to use, which the same concept as the one that I'm doing right now with the zombie. So let's say that you have, I don't know, this one for example. We are going to change the word to this maybe. So we're gonna have this about as background. And let's say that we have, I don't know, fireball looks better. So I have my elements. I have the background, I have the super powerful guy with the snowball. I just need the target, right? This monster. Okay, that's your monster there. Return to library. So done. Okay, I have my elements there. So the goal now is, you know the name. You can change. You can change the name. It will be easier for you to remember, which is the animation that you need to use in any moment. But let's say that you don't. Okay. So the first thing is to add the elements. So you need to have the different variables that will be representing the elements. Let's say I put my comment here. These are the elements that I will create, and I will create the first one. Let's say it's called player, right? And that player is a sprite that we are creating. Look how I can even do this, no problem. I just need to change the name to my corresponding name, and it will create it in a position. If I run this, it will create nothing because we don't have the drawing part. We need to draw it. So in here in the function draw, we are going to have the draw sprite. We do this, it's like a box now. It means that you haven't assigned a character to this variable. So we need to assign a character. For that, we use a name, point, and we set animation. All of it is here in sprite, set animation. Now you need to select which one you want. Actually, when you are in set animation, it gives you the options for the different one. This is the player. I just need to close it. And if you reset now, when you run, you see the player here. Of course, this player is too big, so you need to scale it. So you have player, and you make the size be smaller. Scale, and the scale is 0.25, which is 1/4 of this. You see, now this is my player. Now the initial position is on the middle. If you show the grill, you will see that it's on the middle. You want it, if you want to play upside down, or from top to bottom or from right to left, you need to consider your initial positions. But let's say that I want to set it in the middle. This is the X and this is the Y value. So let's change the Y value to, you see this is 400, so let's put this in 400. You will see that maybe we need to put it a little bit higher because then we don't gonna see the part of the body. Look, you see? So we can try 350, even 370 works. Okay, that was your player. You always put your comments. And now you want to set the background. And in the background, I'm just going to create a variable, call it background. And I'm going to make it in the center, so it's aligned to the center. And I will now make it scale here. And I will change this. I need to change the background variable. And I need to select which animation I want for that. Look that when I delete this, I have the options. And what happened now? Background. What happened now is that I can see here. Boom. Oh, but my player is hiding. I cannot see my player anymore. Well, the first thing that you need to add is the background and then the player, because one goes on top of the other if you set it after, so the background is covering the player. If you do this, now the player is here. Now, you also want the target, right? So you do the same thing. I'm just going to change the variable of the player for the target. I'm gonna call it target. I'm going to change these variable names, and I'm going to position, and instead of the bottom here, I want it on top. So I will put a 60. It will be here. 200 in the middle and 60 around here. I just need to change this for what is this is the player. Let's see, the target. Yes, there it is. You see that it's pretty big, so you can change it. Now, perfect. Then you have your elements. Here you are drawing your elements, right? Here is when you're going to have all of your decisions happening. For example, let's say that you want the position of this falling, or you wanted to change it from X in the X axis, you wanted to change it horizontally, randomly, right? So you just need to change the position of this, of the variable target. How do you see the position? You can see that it have the sprite is all of these type of variable that we have created. You have one that is X and Y. So you have X somewhere here, X and Y. That will change the position. But actually what you want to do is to move it around the X and the Y. Sorry, the X only. So instead of changing the position, you change the velocity. So, for example, here, if I add this, what it's going to do, this is Y and X. Remember X and Y. You don't want to change the Y, so we click 0, so it doesn't change in Y. But in X, if I set it on 1, it will move to the, let me see, sprite is not a variable, but it's target. It will move to the right side. You also want it to move to the left side, right? You can do it in many different logic. We can go until it get to a point and then change it until it get to another point. So we can say that it's going to move right to the right. So we say if the target positioning X, right, is smaller. Remember this is 0, this is 0 in X, and this is 400 in X. So let's say that this is smaller than 10, it will move to the right. So if I have that, I will move to, I will change this, and I will, instead of a random number here, I will send it to the right side. Right is positive. The number that you use here will change the velocity, the speed, sorry, and the positive will means the direction, negative will go to the left. So here, because it's not smaller than 10, it will do this. Now I can have a else. and if it's not that, then I will move it to the right side. And it will never get to this point because, well, let's put it to the right side so that you can see it. It will move here. But if it touch to 10, if it get to 10, it should move to the right side. What happens is that when it moves to the right side, it will be like 11, and then it's already a smaller, bigger than 10, so it will move to the right, to the left side. So we don't want that. What we want instead is that when it goes here, I can set it at the start, so it just go to the left side, to the left side, to the left side. That is basically, if it's smaller to 10, you want to reset the target X position equal to 350. Look what happened now. It's gonna get here and then gonna go to 350. And it's gonna get again and again. So it's moving. Later you can change it to move to the right side. Now that is your job, changing the logic. Okay, so we have the player, we have the target. Now we just need to throw the power that you are using. And you create that variable the same way that we create player targeted background. Position it in a point that is touched to the player, and when you press a key, you want it to go up because you want it to hit the target in this case. So this is, we're going to create it real quickly. Now you know how to do this. You're going to call it, well, ball is okay. Now see where you have your player. Your player is in this position 360, right? So we're going to make this 380 for example, and we're going to change this to the game adventure. We are going to make sure that we change the variable that we are applying the animation and the scale to. So now you see the ball is here. You want the ball a little bit higher, because 80 will move it down instead of up, so 40. Let's try 40. You see here on his face, you don't want that. Let's put 20. And here, instead of 200, we want it that looks like it's going out from this place, so we can change this to 20. Let's see. Oh, perfect. You see now it's going out from here. You want to use the keyboard to move your player, right? So that's an easy decision. If, so you have if what? Well, I want the player to move. So if, and you have here key down means that you press the key. So if key down is up means that you press the key up, you wanted to perform something. In this case, before that, we want to move the player. So we move the player right or left, right or left. So we change this to right. If this happens, then you want your player to move, right? Not changing the position like drastically, but to move to the right. So we use the same that we use to move the target, which is changing the velocity. Instead of target velocity, here is player velocity. And because we press the right key, we want this positive. So if we reset, here is there, but if we press right key, it moves. Oh, but the player is moving and the ball is not, right? So what we want to is create a group that have the player and the ball, so they move as one and they don't move individually. That's why we have here group. So we first create a group. We're gonna create it after we create the ball here. And we want to say, we want to give it a name that will be player group, and we create a group. Now we want to add elements to the group. In this case, we want to add the ball and the player. So we have the ball and we have the player. Now they are combined, and our goal is to make them move together. So instead of moving player here, we want to move the group. And here is when we have this set. This is for rotation, scale, speed, and direction. That will be for the angle, set, velocity issue. So we're going to put it here. Group, but the group name, what is the group name? The group name is player group. Player group, set velocity to each. In this case, we are just moving to the right. So we change this. Now we don't need that. We're just gonna comment it. Now look what happened. When I, it's not group, remember it's player group, player G, so we change this. And run. Now they move together, look, boom, together. You want the opposite of this, that is, if it's right, you want to do the same thing for left. That's your job. Now you want, when you press a key, let's say enter, space, up, whatever you want the ball to display. Means that it goes up, right? So you just do the same thing as this, but instead of changing the velocity of the group, you change the velocity of the ball. And now instead of changing the x value, you're gonna change the y value. That should be easy to replicate. For example, if we can copy paste the same code that we have here. If instead this, if I click up, what I want is that not the player but the ball velocity, and not this one but this one go up. And up means negative here because this is 400 and this is 0. So we have this, delete. Now in the other part, the last one, let's test it. Up, there is an arrow. It's not set, it's not each because it's not a group. Now you see, boo, the balls go. And there it touch. So you want to materialize that touch. Of course, look, all of this should be commented. So this is movement, movement right. So you need to have the movement to the left, and this is throwing the ball, THRO. Okay, so now you want to check if there is a collision, if it's touching, if the ball is touching the target. So you have that here, is touching. You have a where here is touching. So you want, is the ball touching the target? Target is target. Don't confuse this with our variable. It was just a example that I put. But this is true or false only, right? So you need to have a decision involving this whole thing. So this is the condition that you will have inside of a decision. So if this happens, means that they are touching, right? If this happens, I want to score 1 or whatever. I will make a sound. For example, play sound. All of these functions have examples. You can check them, then you can open this in another screen and you can see all of this. So for example, for this play sound, this is play speech. You can actually tell, hey, you're winning, like the game that I just created. But these have different win point. For example, you can copy this link and you can use this here instead of all of this. Let's do it again. Let's launch. And there you have the sound. Okay, now the ball is going up too high, right? So basically what you want is that when the ball goes to a high, which is changing the y value, if it's smaller than 0, smaller than 0 is on the top here, you want to reset this. And when you reset means that you draw again the player and the ball in the position that you want. This you can do it like this. I did a function. You can create a function.
Wait, just a second. At this point, I was too tired and I didn't explain anything about how did I create that function. So if you're ready to go and move on with it, I will share the code in the description. But if you need more explanation about the function, don't worry. There is another video for this. So check the description or check the video on the series of videos related to GUI, um, games, and apps. Thank you.
You can do it like this. I did a function. You can create a function that is for the player to is called player start, which basically will destroy the player and the ball, destroy and recreate them in a position, the position that you want. So you just copy the thing that you did at the beginning, and that will means that when it goes to the top, you recreate it, boom, and it starts again with the ball in the powerful weapon, and you can move your monster. Now your monster is going like and then going back to the initial position. What you want, instead of going back to the initial position, you can continue only moving to the left side, but instead of setting it to from the beginning, you want to set it from a random position. So you just combine these elements, and you can even change the background from time to time. So if you can add a score value, a test, and all of this, you can check on this code that is for this game. And I think that you're good to go. Bye bye.